you in the house this morning. Well, we were talking about, do you want passion or peace around this mug? Passion or peace in your marriage, right? That passion to be a powerful thing, right? Often associated with intense love, longing, desire, enthusiasm. In the context of a romantic relationship, that is, particularly marriage, usually refers to combination of sexual attraction, emotion maturity, intensity, excitement that partners feel about each other. What's passion? Passion in marriage. Man, physical attraction. Wow. When you physically attracted to somebody, boy, if you ain't never had that, boy, you ain't really been out there. For real, for real. Because that shit had you going. Physical attraction. Every time you get near that person, goofy. Every time I get near a person, if I was physically attracted to him, I'd get real goofy. Wouldn't mean to get goofy, but I would just get goofy about it. I don't know why. And then I would feel like I can't, I could long for them for a long time, and wouldn't be, just couldn't think. I've only felt that like once or twice, once or twice in my lifetime. When I was married, of course. hmm And then one time after my husband died. I mean, over time, that kind of thing fade, I guess, right? Which is completely normal. And it doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just means that, it runs very high in the beginning, the honeymoon phase and all that. But it can wane due to stress, life choices, and the lack of emotional effort on people's part. But passion can last. I mean, it can last, in a marriage, I think. But it rarely survives without people doing anything about it. Okay? You got to intentionally foster, intentionally feed it. That's the one damn thing. Date nights, touching, flirting, you know, maintaining that physical touch. The physical touch is really how you rekindle all of that or keep that going. And people got to be emotionally safe too in order to express themselves. When they feel freer. When you feel freer, you feel more of yourself. You feel more passionate about another person. Usually that's how that happens. Honest communication, being vulnerable with another person, and trust. This is where that submission comes in. When you have, you know, when you have novelty and it's always a surprise in the relationships. Okay? When you have surprise in those relationships. Okay? Passion. People who explore a lot of different things and new experiences together, they grow individually and they grow together, and that makes it interesting in these relationships. And one of the most important parts is the physical aspect of it. This is a key. This is a huge thing that should be in a passionate relationship. But that changes over time as we get older, as we get more comfortable with another person. I mean, it shifts from being lustful to a more meaningful connection, or when someone touches another person. You know how you be standing somewhere and then a person touches your back that like you have a passion for, or you're related to, or you love or want. It's that passion and that lust. Okay. I mean, it ebbs and flows, but it's okay. But some people want a peaceful relationship, peaceful marriage. Ain't nothing wrong with that peaceful marriage. I mean, most of the time, you can have both, but when you have a peaceful marriage, it's a lot of emotional safety, harmony, respect, uh, it's very base, because you know what the person is going to do. You know what the person is going to say. It doesn't mean everything is perfect. Doesn't mean everything is okay, and that fights and stuff, passionate fights and things won't happen. It means that they do. You handle it with more level headedness, maybe more patience and understanding for the other person. But a lot of times when you have a peaceful marriage, and a lot of people want a peaceful marriage as opposed to, a passionate marriage. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with wanting a peaceful marriage as opposed to a passionate marriage. I would prefer to have a passionate and a peaceful marriage. But in a peaceful marriage, you have a lot of emotional safety, and people feel secure. You know, when you have in a peaceful marriage, when you have emotional security, you feel comfortable to be yourself. Both partners are valued and wanted and loved. You can express your needs and feelings honestly about how you feel about your person, right? This is what happens when you're in a peaceful marriage. You have healthy communication, honest communication too, because the person always listens. They want to listen to you. Specifically, if you have a peaceful marriage, disagreements are handled way differently than a passionate marriage. I mean, it's very calm, no yelling, no manipulation. And there's nothing wrong with this kind of marriage. Nothing wrong with a peaceful marriage. It's just that I prefer a passionate marriage. I would just prefer a passionate marriage, right? I mean, there's space for both people to live and to breathe in that kind of relationship. And you have the respectful boundaries. You have the boundaries, right? Each person is respected in their space and their values and individuality. Okay. All these things are taken into account when you're in a peaceful marriage. This is where people really, really, really feel like they're a team or feel like they're emotionally safe when this happens. Each person supports each other through the challenges, through the compassion, through the time. And you don't have the drama that you have with a passionate marriage, right? You're not walking on edge. You don't walk in the door and think something's going to happen because the passion takes over. And so we think alike, we do alike, we act alike. Okay, we act towards those shared goals. But don't get me wrong. Peace is not where you avoid the conflict, where you're so submissive that you don't do anything, and people get into it and pretend like there's nothing wrong. That's not what it means to be in a peaceful marriage. Being a peaceful marriage is sort of like emotional safety or emotional client. I mean, it's calm, peaceful, resilient, restful. I mean, you don't always feel like fighting or having to be back and forth when you're in a safe, peaceful marriage. And that's okay for a lot of people. I just prefer to have a passionate and a peaceful marriage. You can have both of those, right? I would love it if we can have both of it. But it's a rare kind of love. It's a rare kind of relationship. If you have the passionate and you have the peaceful side, I thought about this. You feel safe and you feel desired. Who doesn't want to feel safe and desired? Okay. You feel you feel seen and you feel desired and attractive to your partner. Who doesn't want that, right? I mean, there's a lot of comfort. You don't get complacent. Just because we argue doesn't mean it's it's arguing constructive or deconstructively or destructively. Because a lot of people feel like passionate communication is destructive. Like it's a war zone. Like we got to fight. We got to do this, that, and the third. That's not how passionate relationships work. It's not an emotional war zone. We can deepen our connection if we handle it well and we understand each other well. And a key part of having that passionate relationship is the touch. Okay? Physical touch, sex, attraction, it comes from it being the honeymoon phase to sensuality. I know how you like to be touched. I flirt with you. I touch you. I feel you. You try things new. Passion is always on the table. Okay? This is a passionate and a peaceful marriage. You're each other's safe space and the excitement. You support each other through thick and thin, hard, but you also challenge that person to be better. You challenge the boundaries of their thought processes. Sometimes you become playful, touchy-feely. You choose each other, choosing. And that's a very important part of marriage. That's a very important part of being in a relationship. You choose each other. You choose each other every time. Peace can bring foundation, but I think passion is one of those things where you continuously rekindle it over and over again through the boundaries that you challenge with your partner, and you have mental adventures with your partner. Okay, how do people keep these things going? These relationships. How do they keep this passionate thing going? Emotional honesty, consistent communication with the other person, touching a person, not always having conflict, taking their side in when you understand arguments, respect for your differences, the boundaries, and you definitely got to continue to touch another person, not just sex, but looking, the tone in which you talk to your partner. You got to have space for them to be vulnerable, space for them to share their dreams and their fears. More importantly, their fears. Enjoy new relationships, new things with each other, right? Even though you got a busy life, you have to make time for the relationship, romance. You got to make time for that. If you don't, you don't. And passion is one of those things that, it fades a little bit. And when people get into a routine, they feel bored. And people say this is when the problems happen. But you got to attend to the relationship. People don't cultivate their relationship. It's not about it being this high or roller coaster. It's about this steady passion or this steady reigniting of the excitement in which you met the person at the beginning. Okay. If you don't tend to that burning fire, it's going to get out of control. But if you tend to it, cultivate it, touch it, knead it, it's going to stay right there, and it's going to consistently be there. You feed it the damn coals, it's going to stay right there, and it's going to keep you warm, and it's going to be steady. And a lot of people let the fire and the passion get out of control where they're fighting and angry and cussing each other out, and it's always a drama. You got to learn how to cultivate and keep that that fire right there, instead of being ugly and passionate and saying everything that you want to say in the relationship. You knead it into a small ball, and then that is how your relationship continues to grow. And a lot of people let that get out of control, and then it's wild. And I get it. How do you keep such a thing going? How do you keep a passionate relationship going? Be curious about your partner. Be curious about the things that they think about. Ask them what may be their secret desires in the relationship. How do you want me to be curious in my life? Ask me what I can do to grow in my life. When do you begin to feel completely and emotionally alive? And I used to tell people a long time ago, I feel my most uh, thorough self or my most alive self when I was in a relationship. I feel my most passionate self when I'm in a relationship. Because when I'm single, and I'm single, it's okay. It's okay to be single. But I also like to be in the throes of passion with another person, wondering about what they're doing, how they doing, when I can see you, all of that. See, I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that because I haven't had that bad experience, and I get it. People have that bad experience, and I'm afraid to want. I'm afraid to desire. I'm afraid to flirt again, be suggestive, intimate, mentally submissive to another person. I mean, love is not for the weak, and passion is not for the weak. That's for sure, right? But you can try to ignite it by changing your scene, change your routine, take a trip with each other, leave notes for each other, take a class together, go to a spa treatment together. Okay, don't look at, yeah, make yourself desirable to your significant other. That's a part of it. Don't treat sex as a chore. Treat sex as an exploration of another person's body. Even if you're a big girl, lingerie goes a long way because it's a part of the imagination that men, you see visual, but it ignites the imagination. We don't have to have sex the minute we say we want to have sex. We could tease each other all day. You text me, I text you. We don't have time. Maybe we don't have time. Maybe the only thing I got time to do is give you a BJ. Maybe that's all you got time to do is suck on my neck. Maybe we don't have to, but we learn to touch each other and keep connected with each other. It's called anticipation. I want to anticipate, and that's the best part of it. That's the best part of having passionate sex. That's the best part of being in a relationship. When you anticipate, you send me a text and say something crazy, or you send me a note and say something crazy, right? I mean, that's the best part of having sex with somebody. And I understand that passion fades. It does. But you can be very playful, intentional, slightly unpredictable, and that shit is mad, mad sexy. Sexy. And you can create peace out of that passion. We can be passionate and we can be peaceful. The whole point is to find a space where a man or a woman feels connected to each other, where a man or a woman feels safe to be themselves. Okay? You got to be safe in this. It's a space to be yourself. Learn to put conflict and fights out of the picture constructively. Let's sit down. Let's have a discussion. I don't want the fact that we have this argument, we have this problem with the bills. I don't want that to take over for the passion that I have for you. I don't want the passion to overflow so badly that it just burns everything down. I got to be safe to talk to you. I want to be safe to talk to you.